Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Episode 20, which is the finale. Won't he do it?
Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you, God.
Because the way this season got on my last good nerve, and I know y'all saw that reunion trailer drop. We are getting a 4-part reunion, and I can't wait. And it seems like Andy heard our cries and saw all of our tweets because it seems like he is not sparing anybody. And it looks like him and Erika are about to be going at it, and I cannot wait. But before we get into this recap, I have to say thank you guys. I love y'all. We hit another milestone. We are at 7,000 subscribers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My God.
I am just in shock. I'm in awe. I am beyond thankful and blessed and grateful. I love you guys. It feels amazing. When I first started my channel 2 years ago, I had no idea that we would be here today. And now to be talking to all of you guys, it is just a big blessing and I don't take it for granted. We're gonna have some champagne and cake to pop off this finale special and reaching 7,000 subscribers, all right? Cheers to another 7,000. So good. And this is one of my favorite cakes. It's a French vanilla cake. What? I'm about to tear this up, all right? Everything, all right? But I'm not going to be rude and just eat in front of y'all. So let's just jump right on into this recap because we don't have a minute to spare. We start off the episode with Erika and Crystal. They're meeting up at the restaurant that Crystal's going to be having her Chinese New Year dinner party at. Crystal's showing Erika around the restaurant, and she mentions how this particular restaurant has been featured in several movies, including Kill Bill. Now, I am not a big action movie. I don't really like violent movies. I don't like any scary movies either. But Kill Bill is actually one of my favorites. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so dope that that's where she's gonna have her dinner party at. So I was here for it. We know that Crystal throws nice parties. I mean, that's like her only interesting thing about her on the show, but I digress. But they start talking about their outfits. Erika is gonna wear red, and Crystal says that she's gonna wear gold because gold symbolizes good luck. Then Erika brings up how she's still angry at Sutton. Crystal explains to Erika how in the Chinese New Year tradition, it's not good, it's considered bad luck to still be angry at somebody or to fight with somebody because then it carries over into the new year. So she just hopes that they can get along for the sake of her party and for the sake of their new year. I really fell out when Erika says, look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna always remember who was with me and who was against me. Again, I need Erika to cut this whole mob boss, mafia wife persona out. Like, girl, who are you? Who do you think you are in the grand scheme of things that somebody needs to worry about? She's gonna remember who was for her and against her. I wish Erika would take this attitude to some of these other franchises because they would have laid her out a long time ago. Imagine if Erika were on Atlanta or Potomac or New Jersey. What? We move on to Kathy. She's with her builder and her architect at her new house. And Sutton comes over. Sutton is hobbling along because we know that Sutton's foot is all messed up. And it was so cute because I think it was her architect who carried Sutton. I was like, oh, that's sweet. And he was handsome too. He could have carried me and my foot's not even broken. But I digress. Kathy tells Sutton how this house is her new project. She and Rick Hilton, her husband, who's also never around, And what's with that? Like, I understand that she's only the friend of the show, but I thought that we would see Rick at least once or twice, right? No? And I thought Harry Hamlin never made an appearance, but I'm like, damn, like, does she see her husband? But again, I digress. Kathy tells Sutton that her and Rick were going to move into this house. It's brand new construction from the ground up. I think they said it's 18,000 square feet and gorgeous, like absolutely stunning. So Kathy says that her and Rick decided not to move in because their old house has a lot of sentimental value, so they're just going to stay there. Kathy says that they're going to sell the house for around 52 or 53 million. Sutton makes a joke like, I have never felt so poor in my entire life. Then she says that Kathy could fit 3 of her houses into this house. That's how big it is. And I believe it because 18,000 square feet. But Sutton's house is big too. I think that her new house is like 9 or 10,000 square feet. So she's not hurting either. They all have fabulous houses. Now they go out to the balcony and start talking about the Del Mar trip. Sutton says that she had a great time. She's happy that her and Crystal made some headway and they're cool again. Then she discusses that she's really confused by Erika. She thought it was strange that Erika decided to talk to her on the trip and how she has some apprehension about it. I would not be sitting up here wasting any breath on Erika Jayne. I just wouldn't. The day Erika showed her ass and started cursing and screaming and threatening to sue, that would have been the last time I ever spoke to Erika. There is nothing that Erika could have said to me that would have me worried or losing any sleep at night. I promise you that. Again, I really hope and pray that Sutton is on Erika at this reunion. I hope that she's not passive. I want all of that demure Southern Belle stuff to go to the wayside. I want her to really bring her A game and start reading Erika down. Kathy's half listening to Sutton. I feel like Kathy's mind is always a million miles away. So I just feel like she was kind of dismissive in her answer to Sutton. She was like, look, that's all fine and good about your concerns, but at the same time, tomorrow night is Crystal's night. She went through a lot of trouble to put this party together, so no drama. Like, I'm not trying to hear y'all drone on and on and on about y'all's problems with each other. Kathy wasn't here for it. We move on to the next scene with Erika, Jayne, Dorit, Rinna, and Kyle out at dinner. All the 4 people that we all can't stand. And the way I can't wait to see all of their faces crack at this reunion. But I digress. So anyhow, they're talking about Kyle's new Birkin. She came in with this pretty, like, mustard yellow Birkin, and they're asking her what she named it. She says, oh, I named it Goldilocks or something like that. Now, you guys know that I can't stand Kyle. I think that she can get all the Chanel and Birkins in the world, and she will never be that girl. But listen, that Birkin was gorgeous, and it looks just like the Birkin that Sutton was wearing when they were at that antique shop a few episodes ago. Remember, I think episode 16, 17? It looks just like Sutton's. I said,
you copying Sutton now? Let me find out.
So now Kyle goes around the table asking all of them how they're doing. Erika says, well, I'm all right. Like, some days I'm fine when I'm not being controlled, but other days I just want to punch people in the faces. Again, I doubt that Erika is this fighter. I think it's all a front because these girls are so scary and intimidated by somebody who talks loud and curses. She has them fooled. But let her get around somebody who is about that life, she'd be singing a different tune. I'm sure those victims want to punch you and your husband out. But I digress. So now Kyle wants to know if Erika and Sutton are in a good place. Erika says, well, I'm in a good place with myself. Then Kyle brings up again how Sutton doesn't believe Erika regarding the car accident. And I said, why don't you tell Erika what you've been saying about her in your confessionals? Why don't you do that? Why are you so hell-bent on telling Erika what Sutton's saying? Do you guys notice how Sutton stays on Kyle's mind. She brings Sutton up every single chance that she gets. She's the definition of a bad friend, very two-faced, but wants to pretend like she has your back, but then throwing you to the wolves to be with who she deems is the popular cool person. Erika claps back and says, F Sutton, everything that I've said is true, and I don't know if you guys remember, but my son came to help me find Tom. Oh, they're all looking at Erika like, wait, what? We didn't know about your son helping you find Tom. Like, when was this? Because we don't remember that. Kyle says in her confessional, Erika, why do you tell us bits and pieces of the story? Like, tell us everything all at once because we're all confused. I said, now, Kyle, if you're so big and bad, if you're not afraid of Erika like you claim, then how come you didn't ask her that to her face? Why are you running your mouth with all these questions in the confessional, but when you're in front of Erika, you're just laughing and smiling in her face, acting like you believe her? I would have clearly said, Erika, you did not tell us anything about your son helping you find Tom. I would have called her out right then and there. What's Erika gonna do to y'all? I just don't understand where this fear is coming from. Do you guys really think that she's that cool? Like, what is it? Because if we want to be technical about things, she's nobody to be afraid of. Her name and reputation are being dragged through the mud. Her money's all funny and tied up. Her social standing, yeah, she's on this show, but people still don't want to be that close to her. So it's like, what are you really afraid of? She can't ruin you. She can't sue you because she has to worry about retaining the lawyers that she does have for this case. So again, what are you guys really afraid of? So they're all laughing nervously, and Kyle says, Erika, I'm just coming to you as a friend. From my perspective, like, don't take offense to this. Promise me that you're not going to rip my head off if I say this. Erika says, I'm fine. Like, I'm not going to be mad. Just say what you have to say. So Kyle says, I'm just saying your IG page, it just concerns me a little bit. I feel like you're doing a bit too much on Instagram. So Erika's laughing and she says, I love to troll the trolls. That's why I do it. Then Rinna jumps in to say how she's trolled the trolls in the past and it cost her and got her into some trouble. So that's why she kind of toes the line now when it comes to trolling people. In my personal opinion, I said this in last week's recap, I feel like Erika has something on Dorit, Rinna, and Kyle for them to be walking on eggshells around her and being so afraid to call her out on the inconsistencies in her stories. Now we move on to a short scene with Garcelle getting glammed up. I was cracking up because they were asking her about her date. And she's like, I mean, he was nice, but there was no chemistry. And we see a short clip. Her date was super nervous. He was really cute. This was the same guy who had that really nice body. But cute guy, he just seemed really nervous. And Garcelle seemed really over it. So she says that he brought the sushi and champagne, but just not her type. He wasn't that spectacular in person. I said, ooh, girl, not the shade, honey. I'm sure his ego was really hurt if he watched this episode. So anyhow, she says, you know what? I don't think that I'm going to continue working with this dating coach. I think I'm going to just pause on the dating for a bit. And so her hairstylist was shading like, oh, because that's worked so well for you. I said, oh, he better shade her and let her know she needs to stick with her matchmaker. There's a difference between somebody being nervous and somebody being dull. Like, I can't do a dull person. I'm a lot, okay? So I like for the men that I date to have a big personality and be fun too. I mean, if you're going to be quiet, at least be fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be reserved, but still have a very upbeat, lively, vibrant personality. I think that Garcelle thought that he was dull, but I think that he was just nervous. I think that he would be the life of the party if you gave him a few shots, if he was in his element, if you got to know her a bit better. I think, like I said, she needs to give him one more chance. But I digress. It's the night of Crystal's Chinese New Year dinner party, and her husband Rob arrived to the restaurant first. Everything looks amazing. Like I said earlier, Crystal does know how to plan a party, so I was not surprised that everything just looked absolutely stunning. Her mom arrives. I think her mom's name was Tina, and Tina has her boyfriend there. And when I tell you, I said, Miss Tina, you better come through and do it. Crystal's mom looked really good. I said, she better be all glamorous and pretty. I said, come through, sis. Kathy arrives with her friend Elliot as her date. Rinna arrives. She's by herself, of course. I guess Harry Hamlin is in Canada filming for his new movie. Garcelle arrives, and I'm not going to hold you. I wasn't feeling Garcelle's outfit. And I love Garcelle to death. But this season, I have not loved the vast majority of her outfits. Garcelle is just such a beautiful woman. There should be no slip-ups. Like, she needs to be slaying them. I thought her outfits last season looked good, but I don't know if she fired her stylist, got a new one, but whatever it is, I'm not loving it. It's not giving what the girls said it was supposed to have gave, in the words of Rolling Ray. You get what I'm saying, y'all? Season 12, Garcelle, I want to see you, like, on point. Okay? Start shopping now. Get that American Express out right now. You have Bravo checks, the real checks. You just signed on to do a movie with Whoopi Goldberg, so I know that's more checks on top of checks. So hire a stylist, head to Neiman's or Saks, and make it work. And I was also screaming at how Garcelle did not like Rinna's outfit. I didn't love Rinna's outfit either, and I wasn't feeling that wig. I just don't know. I felt like she was trying to play a character. It was kind of giving me Halloween costume. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. And while I can't stand Rinna, she usually does hit it out the park when it comes to her fashions. And now we see Garcelle and Rinna go off to the side to talk privately. So Rinna says, I'm feeling really nice between the two of us. We've walked a really long road. Garcelle makes a joke and says, well, we're still walking the plank, to be really honest with you. They both start laughing, and now Garcelle changes gears and says, let's get serious for a minute. I really want to know if you'd be interested in reaching back out to Denise Richards. And baby, the way Rinna's face went from to this, she was shocked. Like, she was not expecting that from Garcelle at all. And we all know how Rinna did my girl Denise Richards, her best friend of 25 years. She did Denise wrong. I've been on Rinna about that for every single review, because how she did Denise was absolutely disgusting, especially about a tired rumor that had no effect on her life whatsoever. It didn't matter if her and Brandi Glanville did have sex. Who cares? That's between her husband, and Brandi. Why are you so invested in it, calling her a liar and running her off this show? I personally feel like Rinna and Kyle were very jealous of Denise, because Denise is a star. She doesn't need Bravo. She's that girl. Everybody was loving Denise. And the rumors were that Denise was the highest paid housewife in housewife history. Sources say that Denise was offered $4 million to come on the show. And I think that, knowing how jealous and competitive Rinna and Kyle both are, they wanted her off the show because they couldn't have Denise taking over and being the highest paid. So Rinna says to Garcelle, yeah, I mean, at some point, like, when it's the right timing, I'll reach out to her. So now we see Rinna in her confessional, and she's getting all rude and nasty, talking about, my relationship with Denise is my business. Nobody's going to force me to do anything. I said, oh, that's really funny that you should say that, because you're always inserting yourself in other people's business. How does that work? The way Rinna has inserted herself in everybody's issues, But now when Garcelle stands up for the truth and says, you know what, girl, how you did your friend was dead ass wrong. Now is Garcelle needs to mind her business and I'll talk to Denise when I feel like it. Oh, okay. I see what we're doing. And again, Garcelle, I hope that you wear Lisa Rinna's ass out at this reunion. I can't wait for the day that Lisa Rinna's card is pulled. I cannot wait. When I tell you I am here for it. Like, I will have my popcorn. I will be doing backflips and front flips in front of this camera. Believe you me. Erika Arrives. They're all making a big deal because her hairstyle is very similar to Kyle's hairstyle. I was like, who cares? Kyle and Erika just irritate me so bad. Like, I'm always going to be annoyed and irritated and aggravated anytime they do or say anything. But anyhow, Sutton and her boyfriend arrive. And did y'all see the way Erika was mean-mugging Sutton? I said, now, girl, if you don't like Sutton, just pay her dust. All of that rolling your eyes and looking at her and giving her this death glare, like, just keep it moving. I promise you, if somebody that I don't like walks into a room, I am not paying them any attention. They're generally looking over in my direction to see if I'm looking at them, and I'm not. Like, I would never give anybody the satisfaction of looking like I'm pressed or bothered. When I tell you I can ignore people very well, and it drives folks crazy, because like I've said before, ignoring people 9 times out of 10 is a lot more effective and powerful than giving them the reaction that they want. They go inside the restaurant, and when I tell you, Crystal did a phenomenal job. The table looked absolutely gorgeous. Rob and Crystal thank everybody for coming. Rob makes a toast about friendship and how a true friend does not disappear when hard times come. Crystal thanks everybody for coming, and she lets them know that she's excited for them to all share her culture and see what the Chinese New Year is all about. She goes on to tell everybody that she left envelopes for all the women at the table, and when the animal comes by, they have to feed the envelopes to the animal. And they're all like, wait, what? Like, what animal's coming here? So, of course, Kyle has to be super dramatic, and she's like, wait, there's an animal coming? Like, I said, Kyle, just shut up and just sit there and have a good time. Why do you always have to be so extra? So the animal comes out, the drummers are playing, and then you see all the ladies feeding the animal the envelopes with the money. So they're like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. And here goes Kyle yet again. I mean, did you guys see me? I was just so afraid. I thought that the ceiling like caved in or something. I said, why does Kyle always have to make everything about herself? Like, it's anything for attention. And I've noticed that about Kyle since the beginning of this show. Since season 1, she has always been very self-centered. She makes everything about herself. It's not about you right now. It's about Crystal. Just have fun and enjoy the party. And talking about, oh yeah, because you know, Kathy thought that somebody got shot. Like, girl, what are you saying? So now the dinner is served, and it was Cantonese duck, dim sum, and dumplings. And chow, that food looked absolutely amazing. Before you say anything, I did. I mentioned food again. This is gonna be a running joke between us. Like, I'm always gonna bring up the food at these events. Crystal says that on the day of Chinese New Year, you're not supposed to sweep or clean your house or take out the trash. Just leave it. So Kyle turns to Sutton and says, Sutton, you hear that? This is a metaphorical conversation about how you like to sweep things under the rug. So Sutton is visibly annoyed. She's like, Kyle, what are you talking about now? I don't sweep anything under the rug. Like, why would you say that? And again, here's where I would have embarrassed Kyle. I really feel like some duck would have been in Kyle's face, because how dare you make the conversation awkward when we were all having a good time? You already know that Erika and I are not getting along. We're trying to have a peaceful Chinese New Year dinner, and here you go trying to bring up some drama at the dinner table in front of all these other people. I wish Mauricio would have tapped Kyle like, babe, this is the wrong place, wrong time for all that. Do this somewhere else. Don't do this right here. So now Sutton turns to Erika and says, Erika, I just want to say to you that I don't want to sweep things under the rug anymore. I hope that we can be okay, and I don't want there to be any ill will going into the Chinese New Year. She goes on to say how she would love for them to get to a good place again and how she'd be really happy. So, of course, Erika is paying Sutton dust. She's looking at Sutton, not saying anything. Everybody feels the awkwardness. I was screaming because it was an awkward silence, right? Everybody was super uncomfortable. And Kathy's friend, Elliot, whispers, like, what's going on? What did she say? I didn't hear her. And Kathy was like, I'll tell you later. Like, it's not the time or the place to be asking me any questions. Like, we'll talk in private. So, of course, Erika's sitting there playing dumb, knowing good and damn well why everybody's looking at her. So she's like, why is everybody looking at me? Like, what's going on? Garcelle says, we're all looking at you, sis, because we're waiting for you to give Sutton an answer. Like, are you going to be okay with her? Are you guys cool? What's tea? Erika says, I have nothing to say. Then she says in her confessional that she doesn't even want an apology from somebody who tried to condemn her for 6 or 7 months. It is so funny how Erika is mad at everybody under the sun except for Tom. Tom is the one who has you in this mess. But you're mad at Sutton and everybody else. Got it. So now Sutton says, Erika, I just have to say this. We are all rooting for you. We all want to see you come out on the other side of this. And we are all just praying that everything works out. So Mauricio chimes in and says, I agree with that. Then Erika says, thank you. So now Sutton says in her confessional, I just don't understand why I feel like I have to try so hard with Erika, and what do these other women see in Erika? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why you're trying so hard with Erika either. Like I've been saying for the past 7 episodes, I would have nothing for Erika. There is nothing that Erika could say to me that would have me out here trying to rekindle any sort of friendship. I don't understand why you're wishing her well or trying to create some sort of friendship or some sort of normalcy between y'all when she cursed you out, called you everything but a child of God, and threatened to sue you at Kathy's house. No, ma'am. Erika should not be taking up this much space in your brain. You should have been paying Erika dust at this dinner. I forgot to mention, when they sat down to eat, they were talking about Sutton's new house and how much longer it was going to take. I think Sutton said it's going to take another 6 weeks. And then Kyle's like, you've been saying that 6 months ago. And when Sutton made that joke about Kyle doesn't want me to leave her house, she wants me to stay forever. I said, the minute Kyle threw me under the bus at Kathy's house, Sutton should have had her bags packed. I'll be damned if I'm giving Kyle 20,000 American dollars of my money a month, and you're going to sit up here and throw me under the bus and say that I was lying and how I haven't been a good friend. Kyle knows who to play with, because had it been anybody else, they would have written Kyle a note like, girl, this is my final day at your residence, and I'm going to give you a prorated check because you're not getting the full 20,000 from me this month. And if she wanted to take me to court, she could do that. But I wouldn't be giving her another 20,000, nothing. So now Crystal gets up and is like, okay, guys, it's time for dessert. We have the dessert station over by the bar. And she had a really nice dessert station. She had creme brulee and all these other fabulous desserts. And when I tell you creme brulee is one of my favorites, like I love a good bread pudding too. I love some banana pudding, but let me just move on along because we are not here to discuss my favorite desserts. So now Kyle and Sutton join everybody else at the dessert station, and Sutton and Erika finally start talking. And of course, everybody's there watching this go down. Sutton starts off the conversation by saying, look, Erika, I just want to clear some things up. Yes, I was kind of judgy in the beginning. I own up to it, but I didn't mean anything by it. So Erika's like, that's really hard to hear. Like, it's really hurtful. Erika, for you to be so hurt at Sutton having questions, like, do you realize the magnitude of this case. Orphans, widows, families of people who died in plane crashes, burn victims. Anybody in their right mind would be concerned. So for you to act like Sutton is in the wrong, to have questioned you or to have felt some sort of way, like, that's normal. And seeing how you all did Denise Richards, you are in no position to talk about somebody being judgmental. Y'all acted like Denise killed somebody over a rumor about her and Brandy having sex. If they did have sex, that doesn't affect anybody else's life. Why were y'all so concerned and invested? Erika goes on to say, Sutton, I thought that you and I were good friends. I thought that we were building something, and it just really hurt me because I would have liked to see some more faith in who I am as a person. Sutton says, I understand that, and I also want to have faith and know that I won't get lion's claws at me the next time I ask a question or have some concerns. And she says to Erika that she would like to have a one-on-one and they can talk privately. So Erika says, I need a minute. I don't want to have a one-on-one anytime soon, but I'll let you know and we'll have it. I said, Sutton, I would not care about talking to Erika or trying to patch anything up or resolve anything. Once somebody has shown me that they no longer care about this relationship, I'm out.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I gotta be good.
I am very much, there are so many wonderful people in this world. I promise if you don't like me, I can find 5 more who do. I would not be sweating Erika. I would have given Erika my ass to kiss. Okay, girl, you're mad because I asked some questions. Okay. And you'll deal with it. I'm not apologizing. I said what I said. It is what it is. And we're just not going to speak anymore. Period. So that's the end of the finale. We see that Kyle and Kathy and Kim are all back on one accord. We see that Dorit has added a new ready-to-wear line of her dresses, and she actually wore one of her newest dresses to the reunion, and PK named it the reunion dress. Rinna's happy because Amelia and Scott Disick broke up. And then we see Garcelle talking about she felt like an outsider in this group, but now she feels like things have changed, but time will tell. And then we end it with Erika saying that she's in the toughest fight of her life and it's nowhere near over, but she showed up every single day, never gave up, and answered questions to the best of her ability. I said, girl, you lied through your teeth from episode 1. Like, please don't play in our faces and please don't play on our intelligence. None of your stories made sense. You lied to the bitter end, talking about she showed up every day and answered everything to the best of her ability. No, you didn't. Y'all, I have to be honest. This finale, in my opinion, was a little bit dry. I was expecting so much more. Like, it fell flat. And that reunion looks amazing. I am here for Andy getting Erika together. But y'all, thank you all for watching my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.